Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley, Life of Haley. Today's video is going to be about postpartum depression and anxiety and how it can affect you. The truth about how it really truly can feel like and is, and kind of what you can do or kind of stuff to help you. So let's get into it. If you like this content, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment down below and share with a friend so they can also be educated. Again, you know, just my experience, my opinions. I'm not a doctor. This is just what I think and what I felt and some tips and tricks to try to help you. So let's get into it. First and foremost, like I said, I'm not a doctor. Seek help. If you really need help, please seek help. There's nothing wrong with getting help. Nothing at all. So if you need that, please go get help. You know, I don't mean like get on meds if you don't want meds, but like talk to a therapist, talk to a friend, talk to whoever. Just get help, please. We want you here and we love you and you are valid and your presence is needed. And so just talk to someone. Your life matters, okay? Number one, you may not have postpartum depression or anxiety, or you may have one or the other. You may not have both, or you might not have any of them, which if you don't, like, nothing's wrong with you. It's just hormones and how things kind of happen in our bodies. I do know I'm not statistically, this is not probably statistically correct, but I know most people that I know that have postpartum anxiety or depression had anxiety or depression previously. So they're more like can't even talk. They're more likely to get that. If you had anxiety and depression previously, now you don't, like, amazing. I'm so happy for you. You're still valid, and I'm so glad that you don't have to deal with that, because honestly it's a lot. And if you had it before, like anxiety and depression before, you already know it's so emotional and it could just take a toll on you. So I'm just so glad if you had those things before and you don't now after having a baby. Like, that is amazing, and I love that for you. If you do have it, I feel for you. I understand. I hear you. I've been there. I have it. We going through it together, okay? We are one. I am you, you are me. We are together. You may only have it a short amount of time. So you may have postpartum depression or anxiety. It only may last for, like, you know, however long it lasts. Or it can last over a year, like me. I don't know if it's postpartum at this point or if it's just depression and anxiety. I'm gonna call it postpartum though, because it's a big one. So you may have it a short amount of time. You may have it a long. You may have it till you have your next kid, and then that kid can cause you to have it, and it's just like we just cycling. We're just gonna repeat. But like I said, some people may want medication, some people don't. But if you need help, get help. If you just need therapy, like, talk to someone. Remember, you could talk to a friend, but always ask your friend's consent about trauma dumping. They may not be in the same headspace for it. Some may be in the headspace for it, but always ask for consent. Like, hey, are you available? I have some things going on and I really need some help. Can you please, or are you available for me to discuss these things with you that are pretty heavy? Ask consent. Consent is bomb. It's sexy. It's amazing. Because they also may not be able to handle your stuff on top of, like, their stuff. Like, let's say you need a trauma dump or vent to them or you know, tell them how you're feeling, but then they're having the same exact problems, which might be good for both of you to talk about together. However, if they're not in the right headspace to handle your stuff, then it might just send them on a downward spiral. So always ask your friends if it's okay to dump whatever you're feeling on them, just to see where their head is at. Okay? That's just my 2 cents. You know? Also, a form of, like, postpartum depression and anxiety, you may lose memory. Unfortunately, may just be on autopilot. You may not be able to be fully there. Like, you're there. Oh, I gotta stretch. So with, like, postpartum anxiety and depression, you may just be on autopilot like I was. I do not, when I went back to work in January and I quit in June, I do not remember anything. I do not remember anything. I knew I took care of my child correctly. I knew I worked. I knew I showered. I knew I ate. Obviously, because I'm alive, like, my boyfriend is such a help. Without him, I don't know without him, because I was on autopilot. I look back at photos and I was like, when were we doing these things? When did we go to the park with him at that age? When did we do that? And my boyfriend's like, what do you mean when? Like, he remembers everything. He was a stay-at-home dad at the time, and obviously he didn't like give birth, so like he doesn't have those hormones changing and being verbally assaulted at work. So he was like, what do you mean? Like, and I mentally checked out. I ran on autopilot. I knew how to cook, I knew how to clean, I knew how to take care of my baby, I knew how to work, and I knew how to care for my boyfriend and myself. Wow. I truly lost so many months. I went back to work when my son was 3 months old, worst decision of my life, and I quit when he was 9 months old. I worked for 6 months. I will always tell people, if you could be a stay-at-home mom or dad, if you could figure out how to do it, whether you're working your own business, my boyfriend provides for us, which I'm so thankful for, but if you can do it and you're not in a bad situation or an abusive situation where it's not healthy to rely on someone else for money, don't go back to work. In this economy, you probably will have to. Fucking don't. Some people need to work, honestly. Some people can't stay home with their kids because they need to talk to adults. They need to interact, and don't go to work. I lost so much time. I don't remember anything. I don't remember a lot of things from that time. I don't even have memories because I just like dissociated from it. I don't even know, like, what? So that's what that might look like for you as well. If it's not, I'm so glad. Also, another thing is you might want to end your, I'm not going to say it, but if you're feeling that way, please seek medical attention, seek help. I've been there. I know I always thought, how can moms leave their babies? But I fucking get it. I get it. I would never leave my baby ever. And I get it. You're just so fucking low. So low. And you just want it to end. So I get it. If you're feeling that way, get help. I hate that I felt that way. I hate that I felt like I had to leave my son because he would be better off without me. That's why I quit my job, because I was going to do it if I didn't quit. Yeah. I was going to do it because it was too much. I wasn't sleeping. My son only slept like 2 hours to 4 hours a night, and those were not consecutive. And then I would get 2 hours, and when you're like, if you were a stay-at-home mom and your baby went back to bed at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., you would go back to sleep, you know, and get some sleep until they woke up at 9 or so, or an hour later. And no, if he went to bed at 7, I had to stay up because I had to work at 8, and I had to be ready, and I had to work. And before anyone's like, well, the dad was a stay-at-home dad, why'd he let you work that long? If you're feeling like that, because the money, honey. The money was so good. But at that point, in June, I said I'd rather be broke and happy than have money and want to end everything. So I quit. And he went immediately and got a job, which I'm so thankful for. But that's the reason. I was making such good money that he wouldn't be able to make because I was working for corporate America. And it's just so much. Obviously, postpartum depression and anxiety looks different for everyone. It doesn't all look the same. It could be in panic attacks. It could be in just like shaking because your anxiety. It could just be dissociating. It could be anger. It could be postpartum rage. Like, it could be anything. It just doesn't all look the same. So if you see someone struggling, ask them if they need help. If you're willing to help them, ask your friends if they need help, you know, like, be there for those people. Parents are struggling. Do not, and the last thing I can say is, like, do not be embarrassed about it. Postpartum depression, anxiety is nothing to be embarrassed about. Please don't be embarrassed that you have it. The stigma about mental health in general needs to go away. I'm so glad my generation and the generation under me are talking about it. We are taking back our mental health and grabbing it, and we are doing something about it. And we're not going to let this trauma that we have continue on with our kids, with the anxiety. We're not going to give our kids anxiety. Like, we are so aware of our trauma and our mental health that everyone I know is trying to do better. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that the stigma around it is still bad, but we're all opening up. We're all opening up about everything, and I'm just so happy and blessed that we're finally taking charge and we're not suffering alone. If we're gonna suffer, we're gonna suffer together, because I know your best friend probably got the shit too. And honestly, if we're gonna suffer with your homie, or get better with your homie. I love this generation because we're finally able to take back our lives and our mental health and how we feel and get back on track. And therapy and doctors are so expensive, but somehow, some way, we're doing it. Some way, we're making it happen. Some way, it's happening. And I'm just so happy for us, our generation. And I'm just thankful that we can do that. I'm thankful I'm alive. I'm thankful that I'm here for my son. And I'm thankful that I can openly talk about postpartum and depression, anxiety, and not be frowned upon. All the other moms back in the day, like my grandparents, if they had this, I don't think it was diagnosed as like anxiety or postpartum depression, but if they had this, they had to keep their mouths shut. They had to do what they had to do. I mean, we have to do what we have to do, but at least we could talk about it. At least we can open up and talk to someone about it and not just shut up and do what we need to do. Sorry, I'm rambling. I am rambling. I'm so sorry. But I hope this video helped kind of explain some things. It's obviously postpartum depression, anxiety look different for everyone, so it's not going to be specifically to you, but I hope this helps. And if you like my videos or my content, please subscribe, like, love, send with a friend, and I'll see you next video. Bye.